I'd love to start on the Meta side of things. What are some of the most undervalued inventory kind of ad units, strategies on Meta right now that people should consider as they're planning for next year? I want the secrets.
All right.
I want the like, oh, people are stupid for not doing this. It is very obvious to me that there's more opportunity there and nobody's doing it.
For you, I will give you the real good ones. Just FYI.
I would expect no less. Absolutely. I feel honored.
I think one of the most overvalued assets on Meta, especially right now, is website conversion campaigns. Everyone is continuing to do them. CPMs continue to rise, especially right now when we're sort of right between the holidays. We just came through Black Friday, Cyber Monday as of this recording. Everybody's using it.
Can you break down for everybody who might not be familiar with that particular ad unit, like what that actually does, what it is? Like, give us the 30-second like baseline.
Sure. So when you log into your Meta account, your Meta ad account, they basically give you a choice as to what your objective is. And so it can be a number of different objectives. And one of the objectives that, as a performance marketing agency owner, that we typically will use, and most of our ads are done this way, is the conversion objective or website conversion objective, meaning we either want to get a lead or we want to get a sale. So those are the two types of things that folks typically will hire us for. Like, I want it as fast as I possibly can, which is great because there is a specific market, within the Meta platform that will allow you to go after that particular audience who is maybe not in market, but has the propensity to buy at that particular point in time. And those people are lumped into a website conversion sort of circle within the larger circle of your audience. Let's say you've got a 2 million person audience. Maybe within that 2 million person audience that you're targeting, maybe 200,000 or 100,000 are maybe in market for your particular product or service. So what website conversion objective does is it focuses your advertising dollars on that small little circle within the larger audience. And that website conversion objective is the one that most performance marketers use.
And you're like, it is overused. And people are doing it too much.
A lot of people use it almost exclusively. And which is fine, I think, when you're first starting. And what we've seen is that with a lot of businesses, they can get to a very great level of success depending on how big their market is and who they're targeting. Obviously, the smaller niche markets, the harder it is to scale with that particular objective because there's only a finite number of people that are in market at that particular point in time when you're showing them the ad on Meta, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Reels, it doesn't matter where it is, but within the Meta platform. So that objective is overused, but it's the logical place for folks to go because they want to put $1 in and get $1 back or maybe $2 or $3 back out. And the website conversion objective allows them to do that relatively quickly. What happens is that everyone in your space, especially if you have, say, you have a product in the health and wellness space, you'll have all of your competitors competing against those same people, that same subset of in market, sort of at the zero moment of truth. I'm ready to make a purchase, or maybe I've shown some kind of purchase behavior, maybe my web browsing behavior, or maybe the pages that I like, or my previous behaviors on the Meta platform will put me into that small subset of category. And the website conversion objective will focus my ad dollars on those individuals. So as a result of that, your competitors are competing against the same thing and your CPMs start going up.
Your price is going up and up is what you're saying. And I think this is a great kind of, the one point I'd like to emphasize around this before we talk about some of the opportunities is if you're looking for trends, if you're out there and you're like, how do I find opportunities? I will always tell you the most expensive stuff and the least opportunities is going to be the things that are the most measurable and the closest to the actual purchase, 100%. Right? Because, there's this very clear ROI formula that we can get. It's fairly obvious. Like, I don't have to go convince my CFO or anybody else that makes sense. It just kind of works. And the further you get away from that, the more possible opportunity there may be because there's more kind of like judgment, strategy, like real point of view necessary to make those decisions. Yep. Do you agree with
100%,
that?
100%. Yeah, I mean, those are the people that are most desirable for your business. So it stands to reason that if you started a Meta campaign today and you were selling, your health and wellness product, you would choose that objective and you would pick as your objective sales. I want to get sales of my product right now. So as a result of that, everyone else is doing the same thing. What we're seeing, especially right now, is that at this time of year, CPMs for those types of campaigns are astronomical. They just double, oftentimes triple, because there's so much competition. You have all this dumb money, which is maybe larger brands that are using that objective, that are just spending as much as they possibly can for Cyber Monday and Black Friday and into the holidays. So that's where everyone is going. What we've found is that at a certain point, you achieve a level of scale. And this actually goes over to the Google side, which Kasim will talk about. That would be like the high intent based keywords in Google search. Everyone's searching. If I have a health and wellness product, everybody's searching for those, and my competition is bidding on them. So they're pure website conversion. In the case of Google, they're in market, like they're ready to buy. They're actively searching. Remember on Meta, they might be in market, but they're not actively searching. It's still interruption marketing. So what we have found is that to tap into a different subset of individuals, like I said before, if you're choosing a 2 million person audience, website conversion, the objective, will focus on maybe 200,000 of those people, maybe 100,000. How do you expand that? And how do you actually get lower CPMs and tap into people who are maybe not ready to buy now, but might be if you just engaged with them with your brand? And how can you do it affordably? And what we found is putting a layer ahead of that, which we call the consideration layer, and then even a layer above that, which is the awareness layer. And those are different objectives, much less CPMs. Sometimes
how much cheaper?
10 to 20 times less.
10 to 20 times less. This is what I'm talking about. If you move even just a little bit away from that direct purchase, the costs just start dropping. And consideration might be maybe not a purchase in this case, Kipp. Might be just a lead for, 20% coupon, something like that. So those are a little bit more competitive. Maybe those are, 5 to 10 times less, because you're not getting the sale right then and there. You're not competing against everybody else for the sale. But then as soon as you go into the awareness phase, which is the reach objective, video view objective, all of a sudden you're in a blue ocean. And we talk about this all the time on the podcast. It's sort of the red ocean of marketing, and there's a blue ocean of marketing. What we found is that businesses can reach a certain level of scale, depending on how big the market is, by swimming in that red ocean. But at a certain point, it's a point of diminishing returns. No matter how much you spend, you can't spend any more. The red and blue ocean metaphor comes from a book called The Blue Ocean Strategy. One of the seminal books of the founding of many companies, HubSpot, where I work. It was one of the first, I think, literally in the very, very first real HubSpot office, we named conference rooms after important people to the company. I think we had 10 conference rooms, and 2 of them were named after the co-authors of the Blue Ocean Strategy. Like, that's how seminal this book is. But inherently, it's like, if the ocean's red, it means it's highly competitive, right? And if the ocean's blue, it's wide open. There's not a ton of competition. And you know what? It's easier to catch fish in a blue ocean than in a red ocean, which is kind of the extended metaphor here. And what you're saying is the further you go away from that actual transaction, the bluer the ocean gets, right? And which means things get cheaper, and things get cheaper because you have much less competition, and it might be easier to stand out if your messaging is clear and your targeting is correct and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. That's the whole point of it. So if you go just a little bit higher in the conversion ladder, instead of just going for the sale, like we always will start with the website conversion objective, obviously. Like that's the quickest way to get revenue and return on ad spend and hit your KPIs and all those sorts of things. But if you can just set aside a small portion for these other areas, what we see is that you then start to create, and we've noticed this especially maybe in the personal injury law niche and the service-based niche. Like, we have a lot of customers that come out with a lead, a phone call, and then ultimately a booked appointment, and then a sale. And the sale might be tens of thousands of dollars. It might be millions of dollars in many cases.
Sure.
You're not going to get them on the first touch. So you have to have multiple touches. But the point is you might start with that first touch to get the conversion or try to get the conversion. But as you scale, you realize that, all right, that's just a losing proposition. You really need to go up the ladder a bit and create your own audiences. So in that example that I used before in the health and wellness space, let's say you've got an audience of 2 million people, website conversion is converging on those 100,000 people. But then there's 1.8 million in that audience that we know is interested in health and wellness. They're just not ready yet. What reach campaigns and video view campaigns at the awareness or even consideration level, they expand your audience and then you retarget them with maybe 1 to 2 to 3 steps. And you can lower your cost per acquisition in doing so. And that's what we've seen for a lot of brands that want to get to that next level of scale and have struggled to do it. And we oftentimes do it, in concert with the Google Ads platform as well.